Hey everybody, this is Captain Phillip with Airworthy Tours, your guide in the sky. And today we have a very special tour as we take a look at some of New Orleans' historical jazz landmarks. New Orleans is the birthplace of jazz, and there are plenty of reminders around the city that show how important jazz and just music overall is important to the city and to the culture. But before we get started, please subscribe to the channel to be a part of future aerial tours. We are clear for takeoff, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the tour and the show. We begin our tour on South Rampart Street, which is considered the birthplace of jazz. South Rampart Street was the main commercial corridor in back of town, originally a swampy area at the back end of the city where New Orleans' segregated black residents resided during Jim Crow. Ahead is the Eagle Saloon, where legendary musician Buddy Bolden got his start in the early 1900s. Bolden is considered one of the first and most influential jazz musicians and left a huge musical impression on the first generation of jazz players. Next is the site of the old Iroquois Theater, which was one of the first theaters to feature jazz performances in a concert setting, both on the stage and in the pit orchestra for silent films. Ahead is the Karnofsky store, which was the site of the Jewish family that provided a second home to the young Louis Armstrong and even loaned him money to buy his first trumpet. On the corner is the Little Jim Saloon, which was restored in 2012 and has jazz shows and a good soul food buffet from Monday through Friday. Below is the historic Treme neighborhood, which is the oldest African American neighborhood in New Orleans and remains an important center of the city's African American and Creole culture, especially for the modern brass band tradition. Known musicians from Treme include Kermit Ruffins, Trombone Shorty, and the Grammy-winning Rebirth Brass Band. Treme is also home to two historic soul food restaurants of Dookie Chase for traditional Creole cuisine and Willie Mae's Scotch House for really good fried chicken. Our next stop is Armstrong Park, named after Louis Armstrong, the most recognized jazz musician of all time. Armstrong's musical abilities and once-in-a-lifetime charisma allowed him to break through racial barriers that were unheard of during that time, making Armstrong one of the first African-American pop culture icons. Notable Armstrong songs include When the Saints Go Marching In, Red Beans and Rice, and of course, What a Wonderful World. However, publicly Armstrong was silent on race issues, which angered many of his black fans. But towards the end of his life, he did donate money to the civil rights movement. Ahead is the Mahalia Jackson Theater of the Performing Arts, named in honor of legendary gospel singer and civil rights activist Mahalia Jackson. Within Armstrong Park is the historic and culturally significant Congo Square. By 1803, Congo Square served as a space where enslaved Africans drummed, danced, sung, and traded on Sunday afternoons. These gatherings numbered as many as 500 to 600 people. Among the most famous dances were the Bambula, the Kalinda, and the Congo. These African cultural expressions gradually developed into New Orleans jazz and rhythm and blues, the Mardi Gras Indian traditions, and the second line. Our next stop takes us to the Upper Ninth Ward and the Musicians Village. After the devastation caused by Hurricane Katrina, the Musicians Village was designed and constructed to provide homes for the city's musicians in order to preserve the musical culture of New Orleans. The centerpiece of the village is the Ellis Marcellus Center for Music, dedicated to celebrating the music and musicians of New Orleans and to the education and development of homeowners and others who live nearby. Below is the fairgrounds, and it is the site of the annual New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, or Jazz Fest for short, which is a massive musical festival that goes on for 2 weekends during the last week of April and the first week of May. A quick look at the old Mint building, which is now the Jazz Museum, and the site of Satchmo Fest, a musical festival dedicated to the late great Louis Armstrong. And our last stop is Frenchman Street, which is the local preferred area for nightlife. There are multiple music and dance venues on this strip. Many offer live jazz music on the first floor and hip-hop clubbing on the second floor. And if you're lucky, you might also catch a brass band. Thank you. If you enjoyed the music selection, you can tip the band by hitting the like button. Also, make sure to check out some of our other tours of New Orleans here. Thank you for flying with Airworthy Tours, and we look forward to seeing you on our next flight.